What's going on, my fellow A-plusers? It is I, your Morphinominal host, as always, Adam Perez, certainly coming through as we got ourselves our brand new video for you, as promised. As of yesterday, unfortunately, at A+ Morphinominal, we were not able to get to the live viewer questions as I had to go ahead and cut that episode short, as I had other prior arrangements to certainly attend to. But one of the things I promised you guys was, in fact, your live viewer questions this weekend, and that's exactly what we're going to go ahead and do here. But we do have a little bit of a tidbit of information that we wanted to go ahead and cross your way as speculation continues to soar across the fandom in regards to when Power Rangers Dino Fury certainly will be. I mean, listen, it's August 1st. It's the first day of Power Month. Shouldn't surprise me that people are already throwing out their speculation and ideas as to when possibly Dino Fury will certainly return. So just to keep everybody up to date, we wind up getting episodes 9 through 11 over on Netflix a couple of months back. Over recently at Power Morphicon, we wind up getting episode 12 preview, simply stating coming soon. Not quite sure exactly when that return date will certainly be. But there has been some speculation that's been brewing online. I mean, I've seen some rumors going so far as to say episode 12 of Dino Fury is going to be dropping Tuesday, August 24th. Again, that's rumors and nobody has certainly confirmed that. I even see some people over on Twitter with their speculation. But I want to bring this article up for you guys because Mega Power Brazil has an article that seems pretty confirmational here that Power Rangers is going to be returning in August. But I got to say, based off of the tweets that they're kind of getting this information from, the tweets seem very unsure themselves. Okay, so I'm definitely still looking at this very much as a unconfirmed speculative sort of theory as to when Power Rangers Dino Fury will return. But let's go ahead and talk about this a little bit here. So let me go ahead and bring up this article for you guys. Mega Power Brazil. It does go on. It says the current season of Power Rangers already has a return date from a hiatus in the United States. In the latest episode of Power Rangers Dino Fury aired on Nickelodeon from the US was the 8th episode on April 17th. Since then, we've had a surprise episodes 9 through 11 air on Netflix on June 15th, but the comeback for television, it was still open. It says US fans can celebrate because episode 9 will air on August 28th as part of Nick's 28th birthday celebration of Power Rangers. At this pace, the 12th episode, which is unprecedented, will be broadcast on September 18th of 2021. Remembering that the return date of the season can change without any prior notice. So they seem pretty confirmational here in regards to episodes August 28th being the return of Dino Fury, going back to the well, showing episodes that have already been shown with episode 9, and based off of the dates after that, they're assuming the new episode in the 12th one will in fact be broadcasting on September 18th. Now it says the information is from Burgundy Ranger himself. So when I click on this though, guys, when I click on this this information from Mega Power Brazil, let me show you exactly the tweet that they're getting this information from, because they seem pretty sure about this. But this actually, the information they're getting their stuff from is Burgundy Ranger over at Burgundy Ranger on Twitter. It says, good morning. On this last day of Power Month, Berg is looking at schedules again. Nick's Sunday reruns have episodes 5, 6, and 7 on August 1st, 8th, and 15th. But the Saturday slot comes back on August 1st with August 21st with episode 8. Does that mean the new on Nick showing of episode 9 is coming August 28th? Question mark, right? The one thing that puts pause to that logic is that the Sunday rerun cycle back to episode 1 the next day. I just think the return of the Saturday slot is the biggest factor in all of this, even though it's not a new Nick showing episode number 9 on Power Rangers Day makes sense. So again, that's Burgundy Rangers speculation. He has not confirmed that whatsoever. And what I do find intriguing here is that if we go to a current tweet of Burgundy, he does say, good morning, welcome to Power Rangers Power Month. 31 days packed with events, news, and at least one Fan First Friday, merch announcements, you name it. and our friend at nickalive.net have an unconfirmed report that Nick will end its hiatus on Power Rangers Day, August 28th. So again, unconfirmed report. So Mega Power Brazil clearly took this information and kind of ran with it as confirmation, but make sure, no doubt, guys, this is unconfirmed speculation at this point. Power Rangers episode number 9 for Dino Fury possibly dropping on the 28th, leading us to a potential September 18th release date of April 12th. I'm kind of curious to know what you guys think about that in the live chat or the comment section box below. You know, one of the things that we've talked about around here way back when I think episode 12 was initially announced, I remember and recall going on Wikipedia specifically for Dino Fury episodes and seeing that somebody had already placed episode number 12 on August 28th, if I'm not mistaken. But with Wikipedia not really being the most reliable source of information because anybody can edit it, take that certainly as a grain of salt, if you will, when it comes down to it. So is the idea of episode 12 on Netflix, the rumor going around August 24th, true? Who certainly knows? I mean, last time that they dropped new episodes of Dino Fury, it was in fact on a Tuesday, so that certainly would line up with at least the release date of the week. We've already seen Netflix sort of air episodes before Nickelodeon certainly does with 9 through 11. Does that mean the same thing's going to happen with number 12 before Dino Fury returns to Nickelodeon? I have no idea in regards to that, guys, but I thought the speculation would certainly be interesting. So I don't really know if anybody's saying that anything is confirmed out there. Take it with a grain of salt. Everything that I've certainly have been seeing so far has been unconfirmed speculation, but maybe the dates are certainly adding up to you guys. That's one of the things we've been kind of curious about. Like when Nickelodeon comes back from playing Power Rangers, will they go straight into the brand new episodes of number 12? We've kind of speculated that they would kind of backtrack to make sure that those episodes did play on their channel. So I am still very much in the mindset of, if I had to go with any speculation, again, this is just my theorizing and speculation, I probably would land on the Mega Power Brazil's and Burgundy Rangers sort of mindset going into this. If episode 9 does drop on Nickelodeon on August 28th, I don't see why episode 12 wouldn't drop on September 18th. But again, that's just all speculation. But I thought it would be interesting, since we didn't tackle this on APlus Morphinominal, since all this information literally came yesterday evening and today as well. I thought we would certainly go ahead and highlight that for you guys. But I want to know your thoughts. When are you hoping that Dino Fury certainly comes back? Listen, the sooner the better, if you certainly ask me. It is in fact Power Rangers month, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they certainly go ahead and have something special for us, like maybe a new episode, or at least getting us hyped for the return of Dino Fury on Nickelodeon at some point in time. So we'll see, guys, and we'll definitely keep you posted once we do have pure confirmation as to when new episodes are definitely going to be dropping. So definitely stay tuned to that. With that out of the way, guys, we will in fact be getting to your live viewer questions as promised. So let's go ahead and get into it, guys. Let me go ahead and pull it up and see what you guys have sent over so far. Looks like I've got like 8 emails. We'll see if they're all Power Ranger related. All right. I believe also I might have missed, I can't remember if I missed Marcelino Vasquez's questions from the previous week. I can't remember if I did or not, but you know what? I'm going to go ahead and pull them up anyway, because I believe I told this guy I was going to have his questions answered first, if anything. So let me pull this up. This is July 17th. I don't recall answering these questions, but we'll see. It says, before Boom Studios became involved, what was your favorite Power Rangers comic? Honestly, Marcelino, I did not read Power Rangers comic books at all before Boom Studios. I actually came into the Boom Studios rather late. I wouldn't say late, because I did get to it before the Shattered Grid, but my very first issue that I picked up was the Grace Sterling storyline, where she becomes a Power Ranger, and you get to see not only her past with Zordon, but the unfortunate mission, her very first mission as a Power Ranger, and how that certainly went for her also. So that was my first time dabbling in Power Ranger comic books. You also say, I don't hate Nate or Abraham Rodriguez, but whenever I saw him playing Nate on Beast Morphers, he always always looked like he was about to cry, and I couldn't take him seriously whenever he was on screen. I mean, listen, every actor certainly has their emotions and how they certainly express themselves. So I understand. Maybe you're just not the biggest fan of him as an actor, or maybe just him in this particular role. Abraham has also gone on to be a part of the Saved by the Bell reunion series that they currently have on right now. I haven't had the opportunity to watch it, so I'm not quite sure exactly how well he's doing on the show. But I actually appreciated Nate in the season. I thought, if anything, he really did bring emotion. I mean, maybe too much emotion for you when he always looked like he was crying. There was always certainly an uncertainty about Nate, right? A lack of confidence at times. So I could definitely understand that. It felt like Nate certainly grew as this season certainly progressed, but I really enjoy what he was able to bring, especially to the emotional side of things when we get to, the later episodes with Steel and him really trying to help his brother out, sort of thing. So I can understand that. Everybody has their preferences in regards to acting performances. Have you thought about revisiting some of the older seasons of Power Rangers, then do a series review on just like what you did for Zenkaiju if you have time to make them? Yeah, I probably will. I'm thinking Dino Thunder is going to be the next season that I go ahead and actually tackle. I do want to do a watch along for that. So maybe after we do our watch alongs, maybe I will do a series review. Even if it's not a part of a watch along, it may be something that I dabble in. I almost feel like, for me, I hold back on revisiting Power Rangers series, because if I watch them, I almost want to watch them along with you guys. I almost want to, I mean, I could sit down and watch, a couple of episodes a day, and then when I'm done, eventually do a review. That's probably the the one thing I probably should do, but I haven't pulled the trigger on it, because I always feel like if I watch a season, I want to express my thoughts on each episode. And I find myself like stalling, because then I'm like, oh, well, maybe I'll do a review each episode for this season. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I still want to do the watch along for Dino Thunder. I feel like I'm maybe putting too much on my plate. So you might be right. Maybe on my spare time, I will go back and revisit some Power Ranger stuff, and then just drop a season review for you guys. But definitely in the works, Marcelino. So thank you very much for your questions, though. Jessica Friedman's got a question. Which superhero team would you like to see team up with the Rangers in a comic book? And would you like another animal-themed Ranger team? I wouldn't mind another animal-themed Ranger team. I guess when I look at Beast Morphers, yes, we do have animals, but I also look at the idea of vehicles. I almost find it like a hybrid of animals and vehicles. And so I wouldn't mind the idea of more animal themed, maybe if it's mixed in with something else, right? Like Zoologia is something that I always thought would be really great to highlight, because I always thought it would be a great animal theme, and maybe a video game theme as well. But I guess maybe Beast Morphers had elements of that already, right? With Devin being a big video game head as it is, there might be some elements of that in there already. So I wouldn't mind. I mean, Zoologia is probably like, if I had to, my requests for, Super Sentai series that haven't been adapted. Sorry, guys, I got like this itch on my back that I can't reach. I hate when that shit happens. Trying to scratch it. If I like, my top three would probably be right now Kara Major, Q Ranger, and then probably Zoologia. So it's definitely there, like at the back half of my my three. But I would be open to another one. Which superhero team would I like to see team up with the Rangers in a comic book series? That's a good question. Which comic book team? I feel like I'm reading a bunch of stuff right now. I would actually probably pick Teen Titans without even looking at my comic books right now. I'd probably pick Teen Titans. I don't know if there's a way to have like a really trippy sort of time traveling where we get sort of the MMPR crew to fall back into the era of like new Teen Titans, because I'm talking like Dick Grayson, Robin, Starfire, Raven, Beast Boy, Cyborg, maybe even Speedy in there somewhere. Get Donna Troy. Give me the classic New Teen Titans from like the Marv Wolfman and George Perez '80s run, to go ahead and team up with, or even have a more modernized Titans, but just the grown up versions of those Titans from back in the day. So give me the Teen Titans and Power Rangers. That's a superhero team I would love to see. Both of them being teens, I think there's a lot of relatable topics that I can definitely dabble in. Let's see here. We've got Power Rangers Legacy. Talked about this a lot, but can't believe that we've had two very bad seasons in Neo Saban era, Megaforce and Ninja Steel. Which Rangers from both teams would you like to see return for a proper crossover, both live action or comic book? Um, Jake and Gia for sure from Megaforce. Give me them. I'll have them back any day of the week. Ninja Steel. Ooh. I've got one in mind. I'm thinking, I'm definitely gonna go with Sarah. I definitely would like Sarah to certainly return. And if anything, you know what? I'll probably take Brody. Give me, you know what? Nah, give me Preston and Sarah. Preston and Sarah. I'll take Preston and Sarah to go ahead and come back. Um, don't you love that Psycho Rangers were some of the best villains, best evil Rangers in history of the franchise, and that the actual voice actors themselves, except for Psycho Blue and Pink, got to do their screen characters? Would you like to see them again in some form? Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to say it's amazing to me. It shouldn't surprise me that the Psycho Rangers, after all these years, still continue to be fan favorites in regards to it. So yeah, I would absolutely love to see them pop up. Anytime that they pop up, it's worth watching, or worth reading regardless. So yeah, I would be all for it. Do you feel like Japan Toei is the best at bringing back Sentai actors for anniversary seasons? Obviously, because they're all based in Japan. If only Power Rangers was no longer filmed in New Zealand, or the whole union issue with Saban and Disney era actors being difficult to come back. That is the one downfall to Power Rangers that I wish that they were able to establish from Super Sentai. There is something truly magical about how Toei has managed after all these years, even somebody like Aka Ranger from the very first season in Go Ranger, right? That actor to come back after all these years, 45 years later, to be very proud about being a part of Super Sentai and wanting to be in cameos and things like that. I think that just speaks volumes as to how well maybe Toei, I'm assuming, maybe has taken care of its actors after all this time, and showing the emphasis of how important they are to the franchise. I mean, when you go back and you watch anniversary seasons, even, like Zenkaiju, seeing every episode nearly have a cameo of a past Ranger, or past Super Sentai team, I think that really goes a long way to establishing the strength of your franchise. And I do feel like it's been a missed opportunity. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, we've had some great crossover events and things like that. Regardless of it being filmed in New Zealand, they've still been able to go ahead and pull the trigger on some great crossovers and cameos, but never to the likes of what Super Sentai is, as far as like it's long run and being able to do cameos, right? Like, yes, we get crossover events, but the occasional cameo definitely does go a long way. So if there wasn't one aspect of Power Rangers I wish they were able to keep up with, it definitely would be that from the cameos of Super Sentai. But yeah, things like the Union really hurt Power Rangers, because a lot of these actors really depend on being a part of the Union to kind of protect themselves. So a little bit of a bummer in regards to that not being possible, but maybe the tides will change at some point in time. But I do think that's an important aspect that is missed out on. Let's see here. Adam Perez got a couple questions. How are you liking the new Ultraman Trigger series and the Super Sentai spoof series, Waku Saber, so far? What do you wish was better or addressed? Same with Zenkaiju. Ultraman Trigger right now is hitting me on all cylinders. I have not watched a bad episode 3 episodes in. Episode 4 did go ahead and drop this week. Episode 3 did have a little bit of a drop off in viewership, which I kind of expected, coming just under 1 million views within a week. Episode 4, as of yesterday, I think broke the 500,000 mark. So maybe that might be able to get back to that 900,000 or maybe 1 million view peak. But this season has not disappointed me at all. I haven't gotten to the point yet of I wish they did this better as of yet. I think they're doing all the right things on Ultraman Trigger. So keep doing what you're doing in regards to that. Episode 1, I was a little bit confused, but I think there is meant to be a sense of mystery and resolution as the season progresses. So I'm all on board with it. As far as Waku Saber, I think there's a lot of potential there. There are really great moments in regards to the action, the special effects during battles and things like that. And for some of the characters, maybe just the very brief insight that we get into that, I appreciate the uniqueness that it provides. But I do think the idea of them only doing 9 to 13-minute episodes really does hinder them in their storytelling. You really have to utilize your time management wisely in regards to action, character development, storyline, plot. And there are some episodes where that just kind of falls to the wayside and it's just terrible time management and execution. So, but there are episodes that I've been a really big fan of. So promising, not without its problems or its struggles, but enjoyable enough for me to want to come back for each and every episode and see how it progresses, how it builds upon the next one. There are some, like I said, there are some promising moments in here, which makes me wish that maybe Studio Geigo, whoever's doing some of the costume designs or special effects work, hopefully they do get the opportunity to showcase themselves in a more serious sort of season. I'm hoping this is just a trial run for them. And if it comes across rather successful, maybe they'll even put more effort into the next one. So based off of what this season is supposed to be, very limited. I think it's only 5 or 6 episodes. I do have moments of enjoying what they do, but this movie does the Waku Saber stuff does have its issues. As far as Zenkaiju goes, Zenkaiju is just very ADHD to me. Like, I feel like it just doesn't know what it wants to be, and it can just be all over the place. It doesn't really have a sense of focus. There's so much banter and witty conversations that sometimes it can be all over the place, and it feels as though they're doing too much to where they almost forget, like, oh, we have a main storyline that we got to focus on, right? I mean, we're 20 episodes in, and the main storyline and focus is just kind of really lost at this point in time, if you ask me. Like, my biggest complaint is the fact that Stacy is the driving force behind Kaido's parents' storyline, where it should be Kaido. It almost feels like it's completely lost his own motivations to find his parents, because he just gets pulled in different directions and different adventures, and it could just be all over the place. So Zenkaiju, while there are episodes I really enjoy, and I love the banter and the wittiness and just the thoughtfulness and creativeness of how they utilize their themes, sometimes there are episodes that just fall by the wayside and just don't do anything for me. So it feels very much toys first, storyline later, very surface level type of storytelling. And for some people, that really works. For me, not so much. I need a little bit more effort than that. But, it's back and forth for me. Me and Zenkaiju have a very interesting relationship, to certainly say the least. So it's hit or miss. Second question, what are you looking forward to in JDF's Legend of the White Dragon? And do you think it will be something very new and cool, or just another super heroic action film that website's seen many times before? I'm hoping with the production value of Bat in the Sun behind JDF here, the level of acting chops and quality talent that they're certainly getting, I'm hoping it feels unique and new. Because trust me when I say, you can go on YouTube and find a bunch of fan films that probably are doing a fantastic job in bringing Power Rangers to life. And, if there was a concern, maybe Legends of the White Dragon will feel just like that. Another YouTube fan film that was kind of put together. But based off of the money and the budget that Bat in the Sun is putting towards this, I'm really hoping that this sort of separates itself from just all the other, hey, what's this Power Ranger actor doing? Oh, look, he's doing a fan film Power Ranger thing. I'm hoping that this is like a step above that. Not to say that those are bad, but I'm just saying I'm hoping that it's a step above that. When you get people like Mark the Costco's to come in and be like Eric Reed or JDF's mentor in this, get an opportunity to have somebody as talented as Jason Fountain, Sierra Hanna on board also, King Bach attached to it, maybe for some humor elements, who certainly knows. I'm really hoping that this is something unique and new, and I'm really looking forward to it. So performances, I really want to see JDF take his acting abilities and chops to the next level with Eric Reed, because it feels like he's got a connection to this character. So I'm hoping that it certainly comes across in a really solid storyline from Bat in the Sun. Like, I hope it's not just all action in your face. I do want some emotional oomph to kind of go along with it, with keeping a really great pace. So we'll see, but I'm looking forward to it. What do you think made Dino Charge as a whole the best series of the Neo Saban era? And why did Saban make the writers adapt Statue of Liberty villain Lord Arcanon and Zenowing from Q Ranger, even though we already had Keeper and Sledge were the American counterpart? That never made sense, especially since they were introduced near the end of the series. So Dino Charge is not a series that I finished, unfortunately. I dropped off like episode maybe 8 or maybe even a little bit before that in Dino Supercharge. It just became too much. Like, it just became the idea of introducing way too many characters, not giving anybody enough time to shine, and the storytelling just kind of really suffered for me. But to be honest with you, I think what really stood out to me from Dino Charge, not just the first half storytelling, but the actors themselves. I really do think that they just became so likable, and it probably elevated some of the story elements that we wind up having. So if I had to give any sort of nod to why Dino Charge was so good, it was probably because of the cast, guys. I personally think it was definitely the cast. And I just felt like maybe something about the aesthetics of the show felt rather different than what we wind up getting previously. So it definitely felt like a newness vibe behind it. So in regards to the idea of Zenowing and Lord Arcanon and things like that, if them popping up in Q Ranger and then eventually being adapted into Dino Charge, it just felt I don't know why they did the decision making that they did, but it's clearly poor storytelling came into play, trying to do maybe way too much, more than a handful of characters to have to juggle, right? That a lot of that stuff you can really get lost in a season, and I think that was probably its downfall. But that's one of the reasons why I do think it made, as a whole, one of the better seasons, because of the performances and the actors. I think they really stepped up their game. Let's see here. Age has got a couple of live viewer questions. Ooh, these are a mouthful, so bear with me here, guys. We talk about this a lot, but do you think Blaze and Roxy were wasted in season 2 after being freed from the avatars? I say it all the time. Absolutely. They kept leaving, and would have been cool if they became new Rangers in original footage. Blaze and Devin's rivalry that was all season 1 was completely forgotten, and the Robo clones made no sense. That if only Blaze and Roxy, after being free, they still had their evil consciousness considered avatar. Yeah, that's the one thing that I've talked highly about. Like, how I would have done season 2 would have been, look, season 1 we see them enter the grid battle force, plug something into the stasis pods of Blaze and Roxy. I really would have loved to have had the avatar's consciousness, evil consciousness, downloaded into the brain scans or the brain waves of real Roxy and Blaze, so that when they wake up, they are still their evil selves, but portrayed to be the good guys. So they get closer to our Rangers, right? Ravi and Roxy still going on dates together and things like that, celebrating their anniversary, but behind the scenes, knowing that her and Blaze are still focusing on the Rangers, if you will. I definitely would have loved to have seen that. But the idea of killing them off and then just making these characters like, expendable and kind of come back at the end of each episode, I think really killed any villainous momentum that they certainly had. That's why Liana Ramirez became a star in season 1, and then her character just kind of got forgotten about, I feel like, in season 2, until they started really towards the end of the season, seeing Roxy and Blaze fight amongst each other. I thought was pretty cool. But again, what are the stakes when these characters don't really mean anything once you kind of kill them off, right? So, and then again, you wind up not not only not making the villains not worth anything, but then not also utilizing Roxy and Blaze now that they are human forms. You could have had them a part of Grid Battle Force in some way or another. They could have become additional Rangers in some capacity. Who certainly knows? But just a really missed opportunity, I feel like, in regards to that. Like, if there was any thing about Beast Morphers just as a series as a whole that I thought was its downfall and takes it down a notch, probably the utilization of it. So I do think that they were mishandled come the second half of the season. But Blaze and Roxy were definitely stars in season 1. The episode King of For a Day in Zeo, when Tommy was brainwashed to be evil again and as leader of the Machine Empire, was so cool that the writers remember that Jason never forgave himself when Tommy lost his Green Ranger powers and did everything that he could to get him back from his normal self in Zeo. Shows that the writers back then were consistent. What do you think? Oh, I definitely agree. I think for me, it says something that not only were all these seasons connected, but even going so far back as to go into In Space and have that season sort of wrapped up. I don't know if this was ever sort of the game plan from the beginning, right? Like when they dropped season 1 of Mighty Morphin, I don't know if they have in mind, we're going to do this next, and then this next. We're going to bring in the Alien Rangers from this season. Then we're going to go to Turbo, and then we're going to go into In Space. I don't know if how all that kind of came together for them, but I got to say, if the way that they were able to wrap it up, making it all connected, was fantastic. So I always loved I was always appreciative, I should say, of the writing back in the classic Saban era. And I think it highlights itself in a great moment, like you mentioned in that Zeo episode. And then, of course, at In Space, wrapping it all together. So great question. You also asked if Karen Major were to be adapted after Dino Fury, maybe we can get our first full-time female Red Ranger. To me, Juro always seemed feminine when in his suit, and Dino Fury so far has been doing a great job utilizing Sentai footage of Real Soldier Green for Tessa. That's a possibility. I mean, that's definitely a possibility. You know me, I'm still very much on the fact that I think Jonathan Entwistle's Power Rangers will be our first female Ranger. I've said that for a while. So, but not to say that they can't do that and say a Kara Major Red also. Because there are some moments I will agree with you for sure. That whoever the stunt double is in Kara Major, I think based off of the fact that Juro is a high schooler, so he does have sort of that smaller body frame. You probably could pull it off if you wanted to. The Red Ranger, I do wonder if it's a little bit harder to pull off because of all the Sentai footage that's kind of utilized. Whereas Rio Soldier, I can kind of see them navigating their way through it, but it just really depends on how much original footage they want to use. I think they're more than capable of doing anything. But again, it just depends on what your budget's going to be and how much new footage you actually want to use. So do I think it's possible? Yes. Do I think that's the route they'll go? Probably not, though, but we'll see. Johnny Morero's got a couple of questions. Are you excited for Power Month tomorrow, aka today? Yeah, I am. I mean, goodness, the idea that we're already getting like speculation as to when Power Rangers will return on day 1. Yeah, give it to me, man. I'm hoping that the rest of this week has a bunch of stuff. It's kind of cool to see other people also on Twitter doing things for Power Ranger Month. Like I saw Toku Chris, at Toku Chris. I think he's doing like behind the scenes facts from Power Rangers over the years, like each day or like in one long thread. He's going to be posting updates and stuff. So yeah, there are some people in this fandom that are going to be doing some really special things for Power Month. So definitely keep an eye out, guys. Do you think the Power Month announcements could be second half of Dino Fury coming to Netflix first before Nick? At this point, no. I'm almost under the impression, I mean, granted, episode 12 could probably still debut on Netflix before it drops on Nickelodeon, but if it is going to be coming back to Nickelodeon, it would not surprise me if Nick gave us a couple of new episodes aired there first instead of on Netflix. This is definitely going to be a confusing time, I think, for Power Ranger fans. Would it surprise me if they announced new episodes for Netflix before Nick? Not at all. I would be completely open to that. But with us getting so close to the return of Nickelodeon and Power Rangers, I almost feel like maybe after episode 12, the new episodes will definitely be dropping on Nick, but who knows? We'll see. If the Power Rangers ever did a sitcom, who would you want to see the showrunner or show running it? For me, I can see people who did Henry Danger and Danger Force, Christopher Nowak and Mike Karan. What do you think, Adam? I mean, I've never watched Henry Danger and Danger Force, so I'll take your word for it if that's who you're certainly recommending. If they were going to go kind of sitcom route, goodness, I don't even know. Like, I don't remember the last time I've watched like a sitcom. How about How I Met Your Mother? Let's let's get the showrunners from How I Met Your Mother to go ahead and do a Power Rangers sitcom. That should be pretty interesting. Maybe the Rick and Morty guys. I mean, Michael Cauldron, who came from Rick and Morty, went ahead and did the Loki series. So maybe some Rick and Morty showrunners might be able to add some issues for Power Rangers. And don't knock it. Like, don't knock the idea of a TV sitcom writer going over to Power Rangers. I mean, Anthony and Joe Russo from Avengers, who really kind of changed the format of the MCU with Winter Soldier, Infinity War, Civil War, Endgame. They came over from like Parks and Rec, I think. And again, Rick and Morty wind up giving us the Loki series along with the upcoming Doctor Strange 2. So, you can, I don't want to say you can just get any sitcom writer, but, sitcom writers going on to do really big things with these type of franchises is, there's a history to it. You know what I mean? Doomsday says, has a couple questions. We've had a ton of Power Ranger villains over the past 28 years, but was wondering who was your most favorite and least favorite villain, Power Ranger villains? Probably, God, let me see here. Right off the bat, as far as least, Diva Talks for sure. Uh, I just was not a fan of Turbo. The comedy aspect of it was just way too over the top. Some great one-liners, don't get me wrong. Some great one-liners that definitely made me chuckle. But as far as the villain goes, probably Diva Talks. If I have to go villain, probably for me still the Psycho Rangers. I know it's a team, but maybe the Psycho Rangers. Um, there are even moments of Master Org from Wild Force. I was a big fan of also, but Time Force. Um, why am I drawing a blank right now? Why am I drawing a blank on this motherfucker's name? Why am I drawing a name? Rancic. Thank you, Rancic. I was like, why am I drawing a blank, Adam? You've seen this series so many times. Rancic, probably another one of my favorites up there. What season do you think the long ass morph sequence better? Samurai or Dino Fury, and why? You know what? Oh, do I have this list? I think did I delete it? Please tell me I didn't delete it. I had a best morph rundown. Oh, damn it, Adam. Did I delete it? I might have fucking deleted it. But you know what? I was thinking to myself the other day when I did do like my top 3 or 5 favorite morph sequences in Power Rangers. You know what? And I gotta tell you, I almost think Samurai for me was my second. I had Dino Fury, but I was wondering who was which season do you think did the long ass morph sequence better? Um, man, I want to say Dino Fury. Dino Furies is just fantastic to me. I can watch that morphing sequence over and over again. But there is something really cool about Power Rangers Samurai. This is a close one for me. Um, I'm a big fan of just the idea of the cell phone and then being able to use that as like marking your symbols and then boom and then transforming and just the beauty of the concept and the art design and the style really pop for me. Um I don't know if I can answer this one, man. This is a tough one. Like Dino Furies for me is so clean, great camera movements, very dynamic when they go into it. So I'll go Dino Fury. Dino Fury for me will probably be my favorite, but make no mistake, Samurai is right there. Samurai is right there. I just think maybe updated technology maybe just puts Dino Fury over the top, and maybe just the idea of unique camera angles and and movement really adds to it. So Dino Fury, but by a smidge. Samurai's right on its ass. Which season of Disney or Neo Saban era do you think had a better finale episode? That's a tough one for me, Doomsday. It's been a while since I've watched a lot of the Disney era stuff, so to remember their finale episodes is a tough one for me. Even the Neo Saban stuff, none of that stuff seemed memorable. Maybe Samurai. Is that a terrible answer? Maybe Samurai. If you want to categorize Beast Morphers as Neo Saban, still maybe I'll throw that in there. But outside of that, maybe give me Samurai's finale. L'Oreal, the reviews you did on the movies for Kara Major rocked. Which one was the best one? Oh, the Kara Major versus Real Soldier for me. I had so much fun watching it. I wasn't the biggest fan of Bebop Dreams. I'm trying to remember if we did another Kara Major movie or not. But right off the bat, right now, I know I was really impressed with the Kara Major versus Real Soldier one. If you guys are looking for team up movies to go ahead and tackle, I would definitely recommend that one. Can you believe the spinoff involving Yodana and the big-eared bimbo is in the next week? She's talking about Kakihari. Still can't stand her. Yeah, I know you're not the biggest fan of Juru's friend, if you will. I can't believe it's actually next week. I'm curious to see how this is going to go over. I don't know what to expect from the Yodana special. They haven't really given too many story details. That kind of worries me. Is there a story, or is this all about just showcasing how fine Yodana is in the maid outfit? Like I'll never turn that down. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just hoping that there's more elements to it than, ooh, look at this pretty girl in the skirt. I'm hoping there's more to it than that. But we'll see what happens. I don't know how long this episode's going to be, or special, or how many episodes we're getting, but we'll see what happens. All right, guys. I think other than that, that will in fact wrap up all our live viewer questions for you guys. So again, quick reminder, guys, as of next week, this upcoming Saturday, we will not be having a live episode of A Plus Morphinominal. I am going out of town to New York City from Wednesday to the following Tuesday. So I will not have my laptop or anything like that, going for a memorial service for my grandmother. So I will be out of town. So if anything, we will be back the following weekend with a live episode of A Plus Morphinominal. And maybe listen, if some news winds up dropping this week that I wind up missing because it is the first week of Power Month, maybe I'll do some quick shorts, or maybe I'll just put some really crappy unedited stuff up on our channel, kind of last minute, if you will. But just look out for content on our channel this week regardless, guys. But again, no live episode of A Plus Morphinominal, but we will in fact be back the following week. But you're always more than welcome to go ahead and submit your questions over, if you still like to aplusmorphinominal@gmail.com. Again, aplusmorphinominal@gmail.com, guys. So definitely go ahead and check us out there. And if anything, maybe I'll do an impromptu sort of maybe live viewer questions, at least for you guys, if I can. So we'll see. I'll play it by ear as we go along. But thank you very much, guys, for certainly joining me on a Sunday, an impromptu episode, getting your live viewer questions and more speculation and theories in regards to the return of Dino Fury. But until next time, guys, do me a big favor. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And as always, keep it A+. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. If you enjoy our content and want to be a part of helping our channel grow, become a patron supporter. We have affordable tiers to choose from that offer a variety of exclusive and early access content, from audio files for all of our shows for you to enjoy on the road, access to our Discord community, and plenty of reactions, reviews, character breakdowns, and more. Check us out at patreon.com/aplusopinions. And as always, remember, like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so anytime we drop a brand new video, you will be notified.